Elise, did you have a question?
I guess it was just a simple question, but we'll probably get to it eventually. In that situation, in the last session, would you have said something like, "Where do you think this came from?" Or is that too like hypnosis lingo? Like,
I don't like
I
asking.
thought that.
Yeah,
Like,
that's an
that was
excellent question, Elise. And I
yeah.
think every question has a place, but I don't like to make people, what's the word, give themselves a prognosis, like I don't like to ask people things, like, well, what do you think the problem, where do you think the problem started? Because that's conscious. It's not that interesting to ask someone where do they think it came from? Because, like, what, you think they didn't think of that a million times already? They did. But I will sometimes ask somebody something more open-ended, like, well, what do you understand by that? Or when's the first time you felt that way? Because that's not exactly asking her, well, where's the problem starting? I'm just saying, okay, so somebody comes to me like with stage fright. That's a very popular one. I do like to ask them, well, when's the first time you felt it? And then it's an instant regression. Oh, I remember when I was in, you know, grade 1 and my teacher surprised me with blah, blah, blah. And that made me, and did I say to them, okay, close your eyes, scene number, like in the thing that I'm not supposed to use the label for this type of therapy, but you know the one I'm talking about, where they say, okay, instantly, what's the scene, and now give me another scene. And it's like it's almost an aggressive form of regression, which I'm not saying it doesn't work. I like it. I've used it for myself, and it's kind of effective, but a lot of people resist that, and a lot of people don't like that, and it's awkward when somebody says, I don't have a scene, or like, I don't know what you're talking about, or like, is this the right scene? And it's like, oh, why go through all that? But if you say to someone, well, where's the first time you felt it, and they give you a regression moment, well, that's perfect, then I'll use it. You have to be kind of careful between imperatives, like, you must tell me, or spaciousness, like, what do you think, or when did you first feel this? And I think you'll develop that instinct as you watch more demos and hear me talk more about the format of the session.
I like in the beginning how you said for the people that haven't done hypnosis, it's easier because you have to I'm like, my mind has to unlearn some stuff. So I think that was really cool. It's so true.
It's
Like,
so
wipe the screen out and start
and,
again.
and honestly, Elise, for you, because I know you already have like people that you do this for a business and you already charge people, like, that is the real key, is how do I just forget this training that I got that told me it has to look and feel a certain way? Because if I could do it without all of that smoke and mirrors, in a really natural, less pressurized way, for one thing, I become a standout in my community because I'm the only one doing that. And for another, you don't have to stress out and worry so much.
Mhm.
It's just like so much easier on you. I mean, I'll leave for our little 20-minute break here on this note. Like, why wouldn't we just bank on magic if we can? Like, it's not that easy to do that until you do it. Like a huge proposition that's so simple at the bottom of it. Like, look around at all the people you know, look at all the careers people pick. Who's picking magic? I mean, I am, even with all this education behind me. Like, that's the difference between, let me use the method, let me tell you let me figure it out with you, let me give you a tape, let me give you an audio. That's all me. Let me do it. Let my information, let my training, like, who the fuck am I in front of somebody's problem that they've had for 20 years? Like, even Leah, who am I, a trained, Oxford educated PhD hypnotist? What does that have to do with her moo situation? Like, literally nothing. All I can do by telling her that I know something about that is disenfranchise her from her own self-knowledge. She knows who she is. I don't. I have to get really comfortable with that. Like that's really at the bottom of ACH is put your ego down, put your knowledge down, put your degrees and your education down, put everything you think you know about yourself down, and let the client be central.